Hello everyone. In autumn, many people feel sad and kind of depressed. It seems like there's nothing good and joyful left in the world. Especially for these situations, we've collected several stories that prove there are many truly kind, honest and sincere people in the world. Want to know more about them? Then let's get it on. This story's long been discussed in Chinese social networks, but some details unfortunately are lost. In China, trains are one of the most popular means of public transportation, but the number of seats is limited, so you can buy tickets at the box office without a seat. Of course, you will be allowed to enter the train, but you'll probably have to go standing or sitting on the floor. Despite these conditions, these tickets are popular because of their price. In spring, the train from Guangzhou to Chengdu is always crowded, and there is where our story takes place. An elderly man came into the car and sat down on a seat, having told the neighbor though he had bought a ticket without a seat. He hoped that the real owner of this place wouldn't come or wouldn't kick him away, because it was hard for the man to stand because of his age and illness. The train started moving, but no one showed up. At the same time, there were many people standing in the aisle. Among them was a 20-something girl. She couldn't stand very well because people passing by were constantly pushing her. Looking at her, the old man noticed with concern, "It's so hard to stand in a moving train. How far is it to your stop?" The girl assured him that everything was fine, and it was about 7 hours till her station. Another passenger offered her to take his place because he was going to get off soon, but she politely refused. Soon, a ticket inspector entered the car. He found that the girl had to take the place of the old man who had just spoken to her that was on the ticket. However, the girl said that it would be difficult for the elderly man to stand for so long because he could hardly walk. So the ticket inspector offered to take the girl to another car and find a place for her. And then something unbelievable happened. The girl bent down and took out a pair of crutches from under the seat. Turned out that she couldn't walk without them, but still preferred to stand so that the old man could sit. What would you do in such a situation? However, in fact, there are more good people in the world than it seems at first glance, and Scott Dunn's story is a perfect proof of that. The guy was in a serious car accident just before graduation and was put into an artificial coma. That happened on May the 22nd. Meanwhile, on May the 25th, his school was supposed to celebrate graduation. When the guy came round a few days after graduation, he was very upset that he missed the main event. Some of the first words Scott said to his mum when he came out of the coma were, "What day is it? Did I miss my graduation?" But the school administration and Scott's classmates decided to support him. As soon as the director found out that the young man had recovered and was discharged from the hospital, he came to his family and said that the school wants to do something special for him. This something turned out to be a personal graduation, organized personally for Scott. They did everything: the celebration, the congratulatory speeches, the outfits, but this time only one diploma was awarded. More than half of the boys' classmates returned to school specifically to help organize the celebration. After Scott got up on stage and received his diploma, his classmates surrounded him and began to throw their hats in the air, expressing their support.
Scott Leroy Dunn Jr.
Later, when talking to journalists, the guy admitted that he was shocked and couldn't find any words. He was so impressed by the care and kindness of his classmates. Here's another amazing example of simple human kindness that we found in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. There, in her own home, lives a former teacher named GLANCEY. Due to her age and state of health, Anne couldn't take care of her garden nor her house for a long time, and soon the house fell into disrepair. The paint peeled off, the ground was overgrown with grass and shrubs, so basically it looked like a house from a horror movie, standing out from the other houses on the street. Because of the state of her property, the city community wrote Anne daily fines of $3,000. The elderly woman tried to deal with it as she could, but anyway, every year the house got worse and worse. Unfortunately, Anne had neither family nor friends, because all her life she avoided other people, so there was no one to help her in difficult times. The woman was desperate, until one day a miracle happened. Adam and Kristin Polimas, her neighbors who moved into the city 5 years prior, repeatedly offered Anne their help, but she refused each time until the situation became catastrophic, and then the couple took the situation into their own hands without hesitation. In the summer, instead of going camping, they called their friends and neighbors to help Anne with the renovation of the house. There was a lot of work to do. 25 volunteers gathered every weekend throughout the summer to fix Anne's house. Very soon, the woman, used to living in isolation, began to open up to her good assistants. She baked carrot cakes and made orange juice for them, and by the end of the summer, the house was renovated and painted, and the grass, bushes, and trees on the site were all trimmed. Anne's home completely transformed, as did she, because the woman managed to make friends with her helpers and was no longer alone. In addition, she was no longer threatened with fines from the city. The work done was estimated by the experts at about $10,000 to $15,000, but thanks to these incredibly kind people, the former teacher didn't pay a cent. "I think the biggest thing is Anne's happiness and her kind of restored life," said one of the volunteers. Well, do you want some more good? Raymond Nelson and Kenneth Joyner work at Meminger Elementary School in Charleston, South Carolina. Most students here grow up in single-parent families, and discipline has always been a huge challenge for local boys. Together, Nelson and Joyner came up with the program The Gentleman's Club, which aims to teach young people in their school how to be real gentlemen. And it worked. A prerequisite for entering the Gentleman's Club meetings, which take place every Wednesday, is a strict dress code, which involves wearing a suit and preferably a tie or a bow tie. By the way, the boys are taught to make them in the club. In addition to the practical mandatory skills, young gentlemen are taught the things which, according to the mentors, they were supposed to learn from their parents, like how to treat women and the elderly, as well as some of the rules of etiquette. The boys liked this form of teaching good manners, and today the number of young gentlemen has grown to 60 people, largely due to the fact that some children grow up without fathers and feel the lack of what only dads can give them.
Well, being in this gentleman club, it's helped me learn to be more like a gentleman, not just by the way you dress, but by the way you act.
Boys behave badly, not because they're bad, they just lack attention, discipline, and love, Raymond says. A 44-year-old Thai man named Waralop had only 9 baht in his pocket, which is about 25 cents, when he found a brown leather Hermes wallet. Turned out that inside there was about 20,000 baht, that is about $580, plus credit cards. However, instead of taking the money, the man went to the nearest police station. There, Waralop left the wallet, but his act didn't go unnoticed. The owner of the wallet, 30-year-old Niti Pongriangios, was incredibly happy when the police called and said that the wallet was found. And when the businessman found out exactly who brought the loss to the police, he offered Waralop a job in the factory in Bangkok. "I was totally surprised when the police told me they had my wallet, as I didn't even know I'd lost it. My first reaction was, wow, if it were me in that position and I had no money, I'd probably have kept it. But this homeless person had just a few coins in his pocket and still handed it in. That's a good, honest person. Just the kind of stuff we need," said the owner of the wallet. According to Niti, first he was going to offer Waralop 2,000 baht, or $57, to thank him, but then decided he wanted to offer him a job. In addition to a salary of 11,000 baht, or $318, the employer will also provide him with housing. Probably Waralop himself couldn't even imagine that a simple but honest act would change his life in such an incredible way. And finally, a history that united people from all over the world. In 2016, the internet was astonished by a photo posted by a user named Rebecca Lynn. The slightly blurred picture showed a girl sitting alone at a holiday table. The girl in the picture is HALLEE Sorenson, and this is what her 18th birthday looked like. The fact is that HALLEE suffers from autism, but this doesn't prevent her from being a happy young girl. She was so excited about having a party with her friends. She was going to go bowling, have fun, eat cake and ice cream. HALLEE handed out invitations to her classmates and other friends at school, and at the appointed time she was sitting at the table and anxiously waiting for her friends to come so that they could finally start having fun. But HALLEE's friends didn't show up. None. In this photo she's celebrating, eating her birthday cake all alone. HALLEE was terribly upset, and so Rebecca, her cousin, decided that this should never happen again. The girl posted a photo with HALLEE's story on Facebook, and in a few days the publication got more than 225,000 shares. Rebecca asked users to send her cousin a postcard, because reading letters is one of HALLEE's favorite activities. It's hard to come up with a better gift. By the time of HALLEE's next birthday, her mother warned the postman that there might be more birthday postcards than usual, but she had no idea that so many people would want to congratulate the girl.
Happy birthday, HALLEE!
19?
Sir, happy birthday, Haley.
Good job.
Michael Rooker.
Right on, right on.
Right on.
Letters and gifts came before and after the birthday. For example, one day the delivery service truck came to the Sorensons' house 3 times, bringing 7 bouquets and about 30 postcards. In total, Hallee got 10,000 postcards and gifts. Since then, caring people from all over the world send greeting cards and birthday gifts to Hallee, and you can always become one of them. The address is still available to anyone. Hey, stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time. Incredible facts from the past, the present, and even the future. The power of nature and wild animals, amazing facts and unsolved mysteries. You'll find all this and much more here. Subscribe now, you won't regret it.